Hello everyone, welcome back to Nguyen Channel and welcome to my very first videos in English. The topic I have chosen for today's episodes is nothing but coffee. And how to make Vietnamese coffee. So let's check it out. Now, before showing you how to make real good Vietnamese coffee, let me make a short introduction to the coffee in Vietnam. Well, it smells so good. Well, when it's come to the coffee in Vietnam, not so many people in the world know that Vietnam is the second biggest coffee producers and exporters in the world, just right after Brazil. You know what? In 2019, just last year, Vietnam totally exported 1.6 million tons of coffee beans to different countries. The coffee tree was brought to Vietnam by the French in the middle of 19th century. Initially, they planted the tree in different parts of Vietnam, but finally ended up growing a lot in the central highland of the country. So now I'm going to show you where it is located, the central highland. Now you can see the whole country of Vietnam look like the letter S on the map, right? Over here. Right, but the central highland is this part of the country, as you can easily notice over here, including 5 different provinces: Kon Tum, Gia Lai, Đắk Lắk, Đắk Nông, and Lâm Đồng. So why did the French end up growing a lot of coffee tree in these regions? Simply because of the weather condition and the soil quality in this area is extremely good for the tree to grow. That's why they grow a lot in this area. And the most typical coffee tree has been planted in Vietnam for so long is the one known as Robusta coffee. However, in this particular province, as you can notice right here, Lâm Đồng province, some parts of this province, farmers are able to grow another type of coffee known as Arabica coffee, which is way more difficult to grow compared to Robusta coffee. Now I'm going to show you how to make real good Vietnamese coffee. First of all, ingredients. I'm holding a bag of Vietnamese coffee powder from a very famous local brand, Nguyen. Right. So if you consider buying something as a souvenir to take home, I highly recommend you to buy Nguyen. And now the second most important ingredients for Vietnamese coffee, not to mention condensed milk. I'm holding right here 2 cans of condensed milk, but with different brands. You can see this one Ngôi Sao Phương Nam, which means Southern Star. And right here, Ông Thọ means Mr. Longevity. Well, these 2 brands actually come from the same company, which is Vinamilk, one of the biggest dairy companies in Vietnam. First of all, Ngôi Sao Phương Nam. Well, a lot of people in Vietnam, especially those in the south of Vietnam, prefer using Ngôi Sao Phương Nam for making Vietnamese coffee. I think simply because it is produced for Vietnamese coffee. However, I myself prefer the second brand, which is Ông Thọ, O-N-G, refer to an elderly male person, or we call it Mr. in English. Thọ, the second word, T-H-O, Thọ means super long life or longevity. So that's why Ông Thọ simply means Mr. Longevity. You know, this is the brand lasts in Vietnam for so long, for many generations already, including my own generation. You know what, I remember when I was a child, my family was really poor and it wasn't affordable at all for my parents to buy fancy milk to feed myself and my sister. So they bought Ông Thọ. It's so simple, you just pour the milk into the glass and add the hot water and stir well. And then you get a full glass of hot milk to drink. It's perfect for breakfast, right? And now for the coffee maker. Here in Vietnam, not so many people use coffee machine to make coffee because we think using coffee machine cannot make very good coffee. So instead of using coffee machine, we have coffee filter. Okay, right here you can see the whole set of traditional coffee maker in Vietnam, or we call it the coffee filter, right? The first one, saucer filter. So we place it on the rim of a coffee mug. And the next step is the coffee brewing chamber, right? We put it on the top. And this is the filter press, right? But we want to put it later on when we put the coffee powder in. And finally a cap or a lid to cover the top, right? Here we say if you want to be a real Vietnamese coffee drinker, you need to be patient because making coffee this way requires a lot of time and patience. So I hope that you are patient enough to wait for your cup of coffee. Well, first of all, I'm cleaning the coffee maker. I just put the whole thing in a bowl. And then I'm pouring the hot water in there. So this way, you're gonna kill all the bacteria and make sure that the coffee maker fully clean. Alright, I can't wait for a glass of Vietnamese coffee. I'm gonna pour condensed milk inside a coffee mug. I love sweet, so I'm gonna have a lot. Well, it's up to you to put more or less. Now I'm placing the saucer filter on the top of the mug. And then the coffee brewing chamber. And then I'm gonna put 3 full spoons of coffee powder. And don't forget to shake it a little bit. Tap down the coffee powder a little bit firmly with the rest filter. Then pour hot water for the first time. This time not too much. Now for the second time, you add more hot water in there. And cover by the lid. Now you can see the coffee dripping down. Now a very traditional technique. I'm gonna pour hot water inside a bowl. And then I'm gonna put the whole coffee mug inside the hot water to better cook the condensed milk. And finally, stir it really well and you get a coffee ready for enjoying. And now all you have to do is just pour it right inside a glass of ice and get ready to drink it. Okay, so I have done one glass of Vietnamese coffee. Now I can't wait to try my fruit of labor, everyone. Perfect, perfect. Well, I think it's so simple for you to make Vietnamese coffee at home as long as you have coffee powder like I mentioned earlier, and make sure that you have the right condensed milk, either Ông Thọ, Mr. Longevity, or Ngôi Sao Phương Nam Southern Star. I tried condensed milk coffee in Singapore and then also in Thailand, but it doesn't taste the same. The condensed milk in Vietnam is better, it's much better. So make sure you take it home as well. Being in Vietnam for so long, coffee has been a very important part of our daily life. You know, we call it a Vietnamese coffee culture. Here in Vietnam, in every morning, people might skip their breakfast, but a cup of coffee. It is so popular that you can see coffee shops everywhere in Vietnam, especially in major cities like Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City. So if you ever come visit Vietnam, make sure you spend some time checking out our coffee shops. Well, that's it for my very first videos in English. I really hope that you guys found it easy to understand my English during the entire video. If you have any questions, feedback or suggestions from myself, please feel free to comment in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time right here on Nguyen Channel. Bye!